Our next guest is a renowned scholar in the field of sports history. He's also Professor Emeritus at North Central College, having worked in the Department of Kinesiology. Jerry Gems joins the show from Germany.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Let's jump right in, because I'm fascinated by this subject in the sense that you don't realize how good something is until it's gone. That's the very popular phrase, and that was about a 3-month stint here in the U.S. with the 4 major sports completely absent from our lives. We've all seen the aftermath of it. Can you just kind of discuss a little bit why it felt like such a massive void when sports were taken out of our lives?
Well, I think, sports serves a lot of different purposes in our society, and only one, a particular one, is that it provides a sense of community, but also it provides a very emotional and psychological safety valve for fans. And that's gone right now. We don't have that to keep our attention, not only attention, but the kinds of, especially if you're a fan, you're wrapped up in your team or teams, as it may be, and that's all gone.
Let's try and narrow this down a little bit, because when the national sports returned, it was all great, but there were still a lot of restrictions on the local levels, and even still in the high school, we're feeling ramifications of the COVID-19 virus and the shifting of some of the high school seasons. When it comes back, when everything comes back fully, what is the benefit on the local level for kids and for young adults of all ages?
There's a purpose why sports are part of the curriculum in schools. I mean, this has been around for a long time. There's when you look at the larger picture, why do we have sports in schools? Here in Germany and in Europe and places like that, they don't have sports in their schools. They think we're kind of silly and crazy. But there's assimilation purpose for promoting the cultural values in the school. They want kids at a very young age to learn competition, which is the basis for capitalism. Whether kids know it or not, they're learning to be good little capitalists and not question the system simply by playing games. They learn democracy, especially in team sports. Okay, so in team sports, you learn some leadership, you learn followership, you learn cooperation, you learn self-sacrifice. And what's important for business owners, and this was the first one we call, respect for authority. There's a referee in every game, all right? So kids learn these values as they're growing up, all right? It's part of the cultural values, the belief system of Americans.
I want to go back to an earlier point in that answer. You said that not everywhere is academics and athletics mixed. So in the U.S., those are almost completely interwoven in the entire fabric of, it's interscholastic sports. What are the pros and cons to that? Are there cons to that?
Yeah, in some respects. When I get in debates with my European colleagues, including my wife, they don't see a lot of benefit in that. In fact, they feel that they like their systems better, where the community runs sport clubs rather than the school. Okay, often in the school, and you see this especially at the Division I level, where the athletic program is the main visible piece of the school, and it greatly takes over and has more importance than the educational side of it. I think that's pretty much undeniable, especially at the major Division I schools. You can see even the president weighing in this week trying to get the Big Ten to restart the football season. So that's the biggest difference I see between non-American countries, although there are some. Mexico has some school teams, Japan has school teams, but Europeans certainly do not.
Thank you so much for joining us. Just so you know, if you're craving German food, you don't have to go all the way to Germany. There's the Hofbrauhaus in Rosemont. So just want to make sure you knew that.
Well, there's a pretty good one in Lyle as well. That's my wife's favorite.
Well, Jerry, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch up later.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Bye-bye.